The tone of Christine's voice rang out in the courtroom, crisp and measured. All eyes were on her as she gripped a fat folder of papers in her shaking hands. The judge, a gray-haired woman whose expression was serene but unforgiving, nodded for her to go on. Kody's lawyer stood up in protest, his voice strained with tension. "Your Honor, this is most irregular." But the judge cut him off with a mere hand gesture. "Ms. Brown, continue." Christine steadied herself, her voice shaking but firm. "These are bank statements, Your Honor. Transactions that demonstrate Kody diverted monies from the family trust, funds intended for our children, into a sole account in his name with only Robyn." The courtroom erupted. Gasp filled the air. Kody's face turned a deep crimson as Robyn grabbed his arm, whispering wildly, "Don't say a word." "Please." The judge bashed her gavel. "Order!" "There will be order in this courtroom." Christine did not blink from Kody. "For years, I thought we were one family. We shared everything, our faith, our house, our dreams. But I didn't know the only thing we weren't exchanging was the truth." Christine moved toward the table, displaying evidence, laying each paper down individually. Her hands shook a little, but her voice became more forceful. "I left him because I believed I needed freedom. But today, I'm here because I require justice, not just for me, not just for my kids, but for every promise that was broken in God's name." Kody broke his silence, his voice low and calm, but his eyes angry. "Christine, you're distorting everything. You left the family. You deserted us. Now you play the victim?" The crowd murmured. Christine didn't blink. "I didn't desert anyone, Kody. You ensured that we couldn't remain. You substituted faith for favor and love for domination." The judge leaned forward. "Mr. Brown, did you manage the family's finances?" Kody hesitated. "I looked after them. Yes, for efficiency." Christine interrupted. "You mean for secrecy?" Kody's jaw clenched. "You never cared about money before. Now you're the hero suddenly?" Christine swung around to the gallery, where Janelle sat quietly, her expression impassive. "Perhaps I wasn't the only one left in the dark." Robyn broke her silence at last, and her tone was low but cutting. "Christine, this is not about justice. It's about revenge. You're upset because Kody chose me." Christine snickered harshly. "You believe I wanted that? You believe that I desired to spend my evenings questioning how my family disintegrated while you made out like everything was fine?" Robyn's lip trembled. "You don't know love, Christine." Christine moved closer, the cold tone in her voice now. "No, Robyn. I know love all too well. That's why I left yours behind." Gasps once more. Even the judge blinked before looking at her notes. At the same time, Kody's attorney leaned into his ear to whisper something, but Kody shooed him away. "You want to do this one in public, Christine? Fine. But tell them everything. Tell them you plotted this." Christine arched an eyebrow. "Plotted what?" Kody rose to his feet, voice increasing. "You think you're clean? You sat down with a producer months before you departed from me. You knew the exact way to make this family your next tale." The courtroom remained quiet once more. Even Christine was taken aback for a second. The judge scowled. "Is that true, Ms. Brown?" Christine paused. "I met with a producer, yes, but not for fame, for protection, because I knew the day I left, Kody would try to destroy me." Kody pounded his hand on the table. "Lies! Enough!" the judge bellowed. "Both of you will keep your tongues in check, or I'll empty this court." For what felt like a long time, there was only the quiet hum of the air conditioner. The judge finally spoke. "We will recess briefly. Ms. Brown, Mr. Brown, get your witnesses ready. When we come back, we will have Mrs. Janelle Brown testify." Janelle's eyes went wide. She hadn't thought she would be called so soon. Christine gave her a gentle nod, silently begging her to lie. Outside of the courtroom, reporters mobbed. Microphones, cameras, flashes, the frenzy of celebrity colliding with family grief. One reporter yelled, "Christine, are you alleging financial fraud by Kody Brown?" Christine didn't reply. She stared directly into the camera and whispered, "I'm accusing him of betrayal." Kody trailed a few feet behind, clearly shaken. Robyn clutched his hand, whispering, "Don't let them see you weak." But his eyes betrayed him. For the first time, Kody Brown, the man who built a family on control and faith, looked uncertain, vulnerable. As they reached the courthouse steps, Janelle caught up with Christine. Her face was pale, but her voice was steady. "You know this is going to destroy everything, right?" Christine nodded. "It already did." "Now we're just sweeping up the ashes." Janelle let out a deep sigh. "If I testify, everything will never be the same." Christine laid her hand lightly on Janelle's arm. "They shouldn't be." Janelle glanced down the hallway at the courtroom doors, where Kody and Robyn went inside, her face set in determination. Then, "Let's tell the truth." Inside again, the air was sweeter. The cameras continued to roll, the audience continuing to watch. Each moment live, raw, real. The judge brought the court back into session. "Mrs. Janelle Brown, come forward." Janelle made her way forward, her pace slow but deliberate. She rested her hand on the Bible, promised to tell the truth, and sat. Christine observed her intently, hoping she wouldn't crack. Kody reclined, arms folded, reassured once more. "She'll never betray me," he breathed to his attorney. But when Janelle raised her gaze, her eyes locked with Christine's, not Kody's. "Mrs. Brown," the judge began, "you've been part of this family for over 2 decades. Do you believe the accusations made by Ms. Christine Brown?" Janelle's voice cracked at first, but she didn't hesitate. "Yes, Your Honor." "I do." The room froze. Robyn gasped. Kody blinked, stunned. "Because I saw it happen," Janelle went on. "I saw Kody move the money. I asked questions. I was told to shut up. I was told it was for the good of the family." Christine's eyes filled with tears. The truth was finally being heard. Kody sprang up from his seat. "You're lying, Janelle!" "You're just jealous." "Sit down, Mr. Brown," the judge barked. Janelle went on, crying hysterically. "I kept quiet for years, but Christine's right. We shared everything except honesty." The judge turned to Janelle and then to Kody, her face inscrutable. "This case is no longer about money," she spoke softly. "It's about truth." Outside, thunder boomed across the desert horizon as daylight turned to darkness. Inside, the Browns were separated by truth, allegiance, and years of lies that were no longer buried. The judge declared adjournment. "We will reconvene tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. For cross-examination." Christine breathed unsteadily, her fingers clasping the edge of the table. Robyn refused to look up at her. Kody slammed out, his deep but furious voice. "This isn't over." "Not by a long shot." Christine murmured to herself, "No, Kody, it's just beginning." The following morning, the courthouse was full once more. Every seat filled, every camera aimed at the Brown family. The world couldn't turn its head. In a single night, across social media, headlines blew up. Christine reveals Kody's hidden accounts. Janelle takes the stand against her husband. And Sister Wives Scandal Rocks, reality TV's most beloved family. Christine got there first, dressed in a navy blazer and toting the same folder from yesterday. Her expression was serene, but her eyes gave away the weariness, the type brought about by years of unspoken wars. When Kody arrived, gasps and whispers circulated like wildfire. He had a black suit on, but his face was far from calm. Robyn followed behind him, holding onto his arm like a lifeline. The judge entered, gavel ringing once. Court is now in session. Mr. Brown, you can cross-examine the witness. Kody's lawyer stood up, adjusting his tie. Mrs. Janelle Brown, you said during your testimony yesterday that Mr. Brown abused family money. Do you have evidence of that assertion? Janelle hesitated. Not direct evidence. But I noticed transfers I wasn't informed about, money that was to be placed in the children's college fund. So, the attorney insisted, you did not actually see Kody make these transfers himself. No, she confessed quietly. Kody grinned. The attorney caught the moment. So what we have, Your Honor, is hearsay, speculation on the basis of emotion rather than evidence. Christine gripped her fists, muttering under her breath, "He's doing it again." The judge interrupted. Counsel, continue, but don't forget, this is a hearing for financial misconduct, not a session of family therapy. The lawyer nodded, but his voice became venomous. Mrs. Brown, isn't it true you used to have access to these accounts? Isn't it possible you made unauthorized withdrawals? The room was filled with gasps. Christine jumped up, angry. That's outrageous. Sit down, Ms. Brown, warned the judge. Janelle's voice shook. I never took anything. I was trying to figure out why our savings kept decreasing. The attorney came in closer. Or perhaps you simply resented the fact that Robyn had a larger house, a more expensive car, and more adoration. That was too much. Christine pounded the table. She's not jealous, she's courageous. The judge's gavel hit again. Order! If there's another outburst, I'll have the room cleared. Kody's smug smile reappeared. Christine settled in, shaking, attempting to bottle the blaze in her chest. The attorney returned to Janelle. You claim it's a matter of truth, but isn't it more about revenge? About taking the side of Christine because she left, and you did not want to be the sole survivor? Janelle gazed down, then raised her eyes, voice shaking but resolute. You're mistaken. I stayed for the family. I stayed because I thought in what we created. What Kody created wasn't a home. It was a hierarchy. The judge broke the silence, studying her intently. The audience held its breath. Even Kody didn't know how to reply. Christine muttered to herself, That's it, Janelle. Don't stop now, Janelle went on. Each decision, each dollar, each conversation, it all had to go through him. He said it was for unity. But it was control. Kody's attorney attempted to protest, but the judge raised a hand. Let her speak. Trickles of tears fell from Janelle's eyes. We referred to it as a marriage, but we lived in fear. Fear of disappointing him, fear of being left behind. Kody leapt from his seat. That's a lie. I loved all of you. Christine's voice cut through the tension. Then why did love always feel like a threat? The judge's gavel fell again. Enough. Mr. Brown, you will not interrupt the witness again. The cross-examination was done, and the judge asked for a short recess. Outside, reporters mobbed again, their questions more vicious than ever. Kody, do you regret that you agreed to this public hearing? Christine, are you scared about what Kody's going to say? Janelle, did you walk away from your faith? Christine tuned them all out. But Janelle came to a standstill at one question. Do you believe Kody ever really loved you? She did not respond. Her silence spoke louder than any words ever could. Back in the office, Christine sat by herself, scanning her papers. Her lawyer leaned closer. We have a good beginning, but we're going to need something more, something irrefutable, to win this case. Christine nodded. I do. The attorney's eyebrow arched. You do? Christine spoke softly. A recording. From the evening I left. The next day, the courthouse was full again, every seat filled, every camera trained on the Brown family. The world could not avert its gaze. Overnight, news had erupted across social media. Christine reveals Kody's hidden accounts. Janelle testifies against her husband. And Sister Wives, Scandal rocks reality TV's most popular family. Christine was the first to arrive, dressed in a navy blazer and armed with the same folder from the previous day. Her face was serene, but her eyes told a different story, the kind that result from years of unspoken wars. When Kody entered, whispers circulated like wildfire. He was dressed in a black suit, but his face was far from serene. Robyn followed behind him, holding his arm for dear life. The judge came in, gavel clinking once. Court is now in session. Mr. Brown, you may proceed with cross-examination of the witness. Kody's lawyer stood, adjusting his tie. Mrs. Janelle Brown, yesterday you testified that Mr. Brown had abused family finances. Do you have evidence for that assertion? Janelle paused. Not concrete evidence, but I witnessed transfers I did not know about. Money that was intended to go toward the children's college fund. So, the attorney pressed, you never saw Kody make these transfers himself? No, she confessed quietly. Kody smiled. The attorney jumped on it. So what we have, Your Honor, is hearsay, speculation born of emotion, not fact. Christine folded her fists, muttering under her breath, he's doing it again. The judge interrupted. Counsel, move along, but keep in mind, this is a hearing for financial impropriety, not family therapy. The lawyer nodded, but his voice grew venomous. Mrs. Brown, isn't it a fact that you used to have access to these accounts? Isn't it possible you made unauthorized withdrawals? Gasps echoed through the room. Christine rose, enraged. That's outrageous. Sit down, Ms. Brown, the judge admonished. Janelle's voice shook. I never took anything. I was trying to figure out why our savings continued to dwindle. The attorney inched forward. Or perhaps you simply didn't approve that Robyn had a larger home, a nicer car, and more praise. That was going too far. Christine slapped her hand on the table. She's not jealous. She's courageous. The judge's gavel came down once more. Order! If there is one more disruption, I will have the room cleared. Kody's smirking smile reappeared. Christine dropped into her seat, trembling, struggling to tame the blaze inside her. Because in each courtroom fight, the truth is not just the issue at hand. Sometimes it's the dignity of the individuals who have the courage to speak it. The attorney went back to Janelle. You claim this is about truth, but isn't it actually about revenge? About allying yourself with Christine because she left and you didn't want to be standing alone? Janelle glanced down, then back up, voice breaking but resolute. You are incorrect. I remained for the family. I remained because I believed in what we created. But what Kody constructed was not a home. It was a pecking order. The judge hesitated, observing her intently. The audience held its breath. Even Kody appeared to be unsure how to react. Christine muttered to herself, That's it, Janelle. Don't stop now, Janelle went on. Every choice, every dollar, every discussion, it all filtered through him. He said it was to be united, but it was about control. Kody's attorney attempted to interrupt, but the judge raised a hand. Let her speak. Tears ran down Janelle's face. We referred to it as a marriage, but we lived in fear. Fear of failing him. Fear of being left behind. Kody leapt from his seat. That is a lie. I loved all of you." Christine's voice pierced the tension. Then why did love always seem like a threat? The judge's gavel came down once more. "Enough! Mr. Brown, you will not cut off the witness again." Each word from Janelle stung, bitter, excruciating, but a necessary pain to saw through years of silence. The cross-examination was completed, and the judge ordered a short recess. Outside, reporters jostled once more, their queries nastier than ever. "Kody, do you regret signing on for this public hearing?" "Christine, are you scared of what Kody will say?" "Janelle, did you abandon your faith?" Christine ignored them all, but Janelle stood still at one question. "Do you believe that Kody ever loved you?" She didn't reply. Her silence spoke louder than words ever could. Back in the house, Christine sat by herself, skimming over her notes. Her lawyer sat beside her. "We have a good beginning, but we will need something more, something indubitable to win this." Christine nodded. "I know, and I have it." The lawyer's eye arched. "You do?" Christine's voice dropped. "A recording from the night I left." And in that instant, the whole story shifted, because secret evidence is the kind of secret that rearranges reality. When court reconvened, Christine was recalled to the stand. Kody's face was inscrutable now, half fear, half rage. "Ms. Brown," said the judge, "new evidence?" Christine nodded, producing a tiny flash drive. "Yes, Your Honor. This is an audio tape recorded in November 2021, the night I said I was leaving Kody." Robyn's eyes widened. "Christine, no." Kody's attorney protested at once. "This is private, irrelevant, and obtained illegally." But the judge said, "If it includes evidence of financial wrongdoing or coercion, it's allowable." "Go ahead." Christine's hand trembled as she inserted the drive into the evidence computer. The courtroom grew slightly dark as the sound system crackled to life. Then there was Kody's voice, raw, angry, unfiltered. "You'll never succeed without me. You don't have any money. You don't have a house. You don't have a future. You go out that door. You're nothing." The courtroom gasped. Kody's face paled. Christine's taped voice replied, steady but icy, "I'd rather be nothing than remain captive of your definition of love." The recording ended. The room fell silent once more. The judge sighed slowly. "Mr. Brown, do you deny this recording?" Kody didn't respond. His attorney hissed urgently, but Kody remained fixed ahead, unmoving. Christine gazed at him, not with anger, but with a sorrow that was almost tragic. "You said I'd never be at peace without you." "But I was. Right here." The judge rocked back. "We'll recess for today. I'll consider this evidence before we proceed tomorrow." Reporters poured in the moment the gavel fell. Kody fled, not answering a single question. Robyn trailed behind, tears streaming down her cheeks. Christine remained behind, her lawyer gathering files. Janelle approached and put a hand on her shoulder. "Okay?" she asked softly. Christine nodded. "No, but I'm free." As they walked toward the courthouse steps, thunder rolled again in the distance. The storm was coming, and they all knew it. But for the first time in years, Christine wasn't afraid of what tomorrow might bring. Across the street, a lone protester held a sign that read, "Justice for the Sister Wives." Cameras flashed, and Christine gave a small, tired smile. Inside, Kody huddled in a black SUV, white-knuckling the steering wheel. Robyn whispered, "They're making you out to be a monster." Kody's voice was low and shaking. "Then I'll give them a monster." The next morning, the courthouse was different, heavier. The storm that had hung over the desert the previous night finally unleashed, rain streaming down courthouse windows like delayed tears. Inside, tension was more oppressive than the sticky air. Everybody understood today would be the day it all came down to. Christine sat motionless at the table of the plaintiff, her hand encircling a cold cup of coffee. In front of her, Kody and Robyn huddled together, speaking in hushed tones. Kody resembled a man trapped, fidgety, enraged, and wanting to take back command. His attorney, though, appeared nervous, flipping sheets of paper as if looking for something that might reverse the harm done by the recording. The judge walked in, calling the room to order. "Court is in session. Mr. Brown, your attorney can proceed." Kody's lawyer stood. "Your Honor, my client would like to file a counterclaim. We have evidence indicating that Ms. Christine Brown herself broke the family trust agreement and withdrew money without proper authorization." There was a wave of murmurs in the room. Christine's lawyer stood up immediately. "Your Honor, this is retaliation, ungrounded and desperate." "Let's hear the evidence," said the judge, unruffled. The lawyer clicked a button, displaying documents on the court screen, bank withdrawals signed in Christine's handwriting. Kody smirked. "Looks familiar, doesn't it?" Christine's breath hitched. "That's not me." "Those are fakes." Robyn spoke up behind Kody, her voice shaking. "Kody, stop this. You promised you wouldn't go that far." He glared at her so hard it could have stilled her. "You really think I'm going to let her ruin all that I created?" "She began this war." The judge held up a hand. "That's enough." "Ms. Brown, can you tell me about these transactions?" Christine glanced at the screen, puzzlement and hurt spreading across her face. "Those withdrawals occurred after I had left. I didn't have access to those accounts anymore." Her lawyer nodded. "We can get the bank subpoenaed for confirmation. These might have been written by anybody who knew how to use her old credentials." Kody leaned in, voice dripping with fake sympathy. "Always the victim, huh, Christine?" "You leave, but somehow you're still the angel?" She faced him, her tone gentle but biting. "You're not angry that I left, Kody. You're angry that I refused to let you own me." The judge called for a short recess to look over the papers. Christine stepped out into the drizzle, her own reflection distorted in the glass doors. Photographs flashed. A reporter yelled, "Christine, how do you react to these fresh allegations?" She faced them, her voice firm. "I've been charged with all manner of things, betrayal, pride, even vengeance. But theft, that's Kody's tale to tell so he can be the victim. I'm not going to live in his story anymore." Inside, Robyn sat by herself, fidgeting with her wedding ring. Kody was pacing, talking to himself. "They're all turning against me. Christine first, Janelle now. Who's next? Meri." Robyn's voice broke. "Maybe if you would just tell the truth." He snapped. "The truth no longer counts. What counts is who wins." She winced, looking at him with wide, terrified eyes. For the first time, she appeared to be seeing not the husband she stood up for, but the man he had become. When court resumed, the judge declared, "Having seen the documents, I find no immediate proof linking Ms. Christine Brown to unauthorized withdrawals. Until further confirmation, this counterclaim will be reserved." Christine exhaled. Relief flickered across her face, but Kody's fury only deepened. His hands clenched into fists on the table. Her lawyer stood. "Your Honor, in light of these events, we'd like to call our next witness, Mrs. Robyn Brown." Gasps rippled through the courtroom. Robyn froze, her face paling. Kody's lawyer objected. "Irrelevant witness. She has no bearing on financial misconduct." Christine's lawyer smiled weakly. "Not at all, Your Honor. She was a co-owner on the accounts in question." The judge nodded. "Objection sustained. Mrs. Brown, come up here and testify. Robyn faltered. Kody whispered frantically, "Don't you dare. Don't betray me." She stared at him, really stared, and whispered back, "You already did that yourself." Robyn stood, already with tears shining in her eyes. She laid her hand on the Bible, took the oath, and sat down. Mrs. Brown, Christine's lawyer, started softly. "Did you know about the secret account in both your name and Kody's?" Robyn's voice was a mere whisper. "Yes." "And did you know that money was being transferred from the family trust into that account?" She shook her head slowly. "I didn't know how much at first." Kody explained it was just temporary, that he was keeping the money from Christine's attorneys. The audience gasped again. Christine looked vindicated, but also heartbroken. "You knew?" she asked quietly. Robyn's eyes welled up. "I didn't want to. I asked him why. He told me it was for us, for the children. I wanted to believe him." Kody pounded his hand on the table. "Robyn, be quiet!" The judge's gavel came crashing down. "Mr. Brown, calm yourself." But Robyn didn't quit. The dam had burst. He told Christine she didn't deserve a penny because she left the family. He said he'd see she left with nothing. The courtroom exploded into chaos. Reporters wrote furiously. The judge fought to regain order. Christine's eyes were shut, her tears running down her face. It wasn't about money anymore. It was about betrayal upon betrayal. The judge held up his hand. "Quiet, please." "Mrs. Brown, speaking as an officer of the court, are you stating your husband withheld funds from Ms. Brown as punishment?" Robyn nodded. "Yes. I didn't know how bad it was until it was too late." Kody rose to his feet again, frantic. "She's lying." "She's hysterical and disoriented." Robyn turned to him, her voice cracking. "I'm not confused anymore." The judge let out a heavy sigh. This testimony shifts the direction of this case. We might be crossing from financial impropriety into intentional fraud. Christine's attorney breathed. That's it. That's the pivot. But Christine did not smile. She simply stared at Kody, the man who promised her forever, now disintegrating before millions. Once court had adjourned, Christine and Robyn were standing together in the hallway, finally alone after all these years. Robyn sniffled, wiping her eyes. "I never wanted this, Christine. I just wanted peace." Christine nodded sadly. "Peace doesn't come from pretending, Robyn. It comes from telling the truth." Robyn gazed at her, shaking with emotion. "Do you think anyone will ever be able to forgive me?" Christine paused. "Maybe not right away. But at least now, they'll know." They remained silent there as cameras popped behind the glass doors. Kody waited in the courtroom, his attorney quietly gathering things. He gazed out at the empty witness stand, his jaw shaking. "They all turned on me," he muttered. "Each one of them." His attorney paused. "You can still settle, Kody." "Make it end before it gets any worse." Kody's eyes went black. "No, I'll burn it all down before I lose." Home that evening, Christine sat alone in her kitchen replaying Robyn's testimony in her mind. The house was still. Too still. For the first time, she recognized that winning in court wouldn't mend what was broken. It would merely reveal how deep the damage ran. Her phone buzzed. It was a text from Janelle. "Tomorrow's going to be rough. Be ready." Christine typed back, "I'm not afraid anymore." She looked out the window, the rain still falling, and whispered to herself, "This ends now." The air within the courtroom is heavy, nearly impossible to breathe. Each groan of the wood benches booms like thunder. The judge looks down and clears her throat, calling the next witness. Everyone's attention moves to the rear door as Robyn Brown slowly enters, holding onto her purse as if it were her last chance. Her mascara has already run from all the crying in the hallway. Kody gazes up at her, hopeful initially, his eyes pleading for a show of allegiance. But Robyn does not glance his way, not even once. The silence hangs so long that even the clicking of her heels on tile sounds like gunshots in the quiet air. She steps up into the witness box. The bailiff administers the oath to her. The court reporter clicks her pen, poised. The attorney steps forward. Robyn, we understand this is tough. She starts gently. But can you describe to the court what occurred the night prior to Christine's filing for separation? Robyn gasps. Her lips quiver. That night, I overheard yelling. Kody and Christine were fighting in the kitchen. I attempted to intervene, to diffuse the situation. But Kody instructed me to mind my own business. He said I was the reason his family was disintegrating. Whispers circulate through the courtroom. Janelle's eyes grow wide. Meri leans forward, her jaw clenched. Kody balls his fists beneath the table, his knuckles pale. The attorney nods. And did you leave it alone? Robyn pauses. I tried. But then I witnessed something that shattered me. Kody tossed the marriage contract, our family covenant, into the flames. He declared, "There's no family anymore. Robyn, just chaos." The audience gasps. Even Christine's attorney looks shocked. Kody bangs his hand on the table. "That's a lie!" he bellows, face flushed. The judge scowls. "Mr. Brown, another interruption and you'll be excused." Robyn's tears overflow. "I loved you, Kody. I stood up for you to everyone, even when you quit standing up for us. But that night, I knew. You'd already abandoned us emotionally long before Christine abandoned us." The lawyer proceeds with caution. "Robyn, did Kody ever ask you to conceal financial information or documents relating to the family trust?" The air turns cold. Even the judge is leaning forward. Robyn gazes down at her fingers. "Yes," she whispers, gasps. Christine's eyes go wide. Janelle is ready to jump up. Meri has her hand over her mouth in shock. "Could you repeat that, please?" the lawyer asks. Robyn nods slowly. "Yes. He told me to move some of the money from the joint account to another account, one only he could access. He said it was to protect the family, but he didn't tell anyone else. Not Christine, not Janelle, not even Meri." The room explodes in whispers. The lawyer raises her voice. "So you're confirming Kody deliberately hid financial assets from his wives before the separation?" "Yes," Robyn whispers. "He was afraid. He said if Christine walked out, she'd take it all." Kody bangs his hand once more. "That is not true. You don't know what I was dealing with." "Order!" The judge bellows, gavel crashing. Christine sits quietly, tears brimming in her eyes. For years, she'd been accused of being disloyal, dramatic, selfish. Now the truth sat before her, uttered by the one wife who had stood up for him most. The attorney moves closer to Robyn. "Why are you testifying today against Kody?" Robyn's voice breaks. "Because I can no longer live with the guilt." I remained quiet, hoping he would change. But he blamed all of us instead. He turned us into enemies when we were supposed to be sisters. Kody lowers his head. His lips tremble. For the first time, the man who once dominated 4 homes looks small, defeated. Janelle weeps silently, crying into her hands. Meri sits blankly in front of her, white-faced. Christine dabs away her tears, then stands. Her attorney whispers, "Christine, wait your turn." But Christine moves forward anyway. "Your Honor, may I speak to the witness?" The judge pauses, then nods. "Briefly." Christine makes her way slowly to the stand, her heels clicking a metronome of remembrance. She looks at Robyn, her tone even but shaking. "You hurt me, Robyn. You were his defender when I was breaking apart. You said I was bitter. You said I was leaving my family behind. But today, hearing you say this, why now? Why not when I left with nothing? Robyn's tears flow freely. Because I was afraid. I thought that if I spoke the truth, I'd lose him. But by being silent, I lost myself. Christine draws a deep breath. You already lost him, Robyn. We all did. The judge interrupts. Ladies, please. Christine draws back, head held high. Thank you, Your Honor. As she sits down, Kody looks at her with eyes blazing with anger and grief. You'll regret this, he growls under his breath. Christine doesn't blink. No, Kody. You will. The remainder of the testimony is a blur. Lawyers rustle papers. The judge jots down notes. Robyn stays on the stand, shaking but relieved, as if finally unburdening a secret she's carried for years. Outside, camera clicks flash. Reporters yell questions. Robyn, do you regret it? Christine, will you forgive her? Kody, are you facing fraud charges? No one responds. The Browns leave through different doors, as strangers. In the courthouse, the clerk is putting away papers when she discovers something left behind. A small, leather-bound journal. It's Kody's. She scans, eyes widening at pages upon pages of financial information, coded communications, and a haunting message in angry handwriting. They think they've won. But I still have one move left. The camera cuts to Kody by himself in his car, parked outside. The courthouse disappears in the rearview mirror. His reflection is empty. He runs his fingers over his phone, scrolling through contacts until he lands on a name. Legal counsel, private. He clicks call. Yeah, he says, low and icy. They believe I'm finished. But I'd like to reopen the case. In defamation. The other party responds. Are you sure, Kody? That'll get everyone dirty all over again. Kody cracks a small smile. That's the idea. He puts down, reclines, and gasps. The distant sound of a siren is heard faintly somewhere out there as the camera pans up slowly, revealing the courthouse steps, now vacated, but full of invisible reverberations of all that's been said, done, and broken. In the background, Christine walks off, hand in hand with her attorney. Janelle walks with her. Even Robyn, after a long hesitation, comes along, though a few steps behind. For once, not wives, just women, walking out from under the shadow of one man's domination. But as Kody's car disappears into the distance, the camera pans in on his face, his eyes glistening with something dark and incomplete. The courtroom seems chillier than ever before. The blinds are closed halfway, cutting the morning sunlight into slender bars across the floor. The whir of the ceiling fan is the only noise as everyone awaits the judge's arrival. This is it, the last day of the Brown family case. What happens today will not only determine the money, but reputations, futures, and what's left of a family torn apart by religion, devotion, and love. Christine sits silently at her table, her attorney whispering last-minute words in her ear. Janelle brings her face up close, nodding reassuringly at her. Robyn sits alone, head down, hands shaking, as Meri sits expressionless, staring directly in front of her, like someone who's lost everything already. Then the door opens. The bailiff stands erect. All rise. Court is now in session, the Honorable Judge Barrett presiding. Everybody stands up. Kody enters from the side door, dressed in a sharp, dark suit, but those fiery, volatile eyes of his betray him. He's not here for closure. He's here for vengeance. The judge sits. You may be seated. Christine's attorney is first. Your Honor, we stand before you today to make final arguments in the case of Brown versus Brown on charges of the concealment of monetary assets, emotional damage, and the violation of mutual trust between the parties who were once the Brown family. The judge nods. Go ahead. The attorney moves to the middle of the room. Her voice is unemotional, but sharp. For years, these women constructed a family on one man's promise. They trusted him. They made homes, children, finances, and faith together. And yet, the proof demonstrates Mr. Brown deliberately exploited that trust, transferring funds, transferring influence, and shattering ties that were designed to last an eternity. She addresses Kody. This isn't about bank statements, Mr. Brown. It's about betrayal. It's about the suffering you caused in the name of leadership. Kody lets out a derisive snort. His own attorney moves in to whisper, "Stay calm." But Kody brushes him aside. Leadership? He grunts. You call it betrayal. I call it survival. Christine's attorney disregards him. She goes on, Your Honor, we request the court to consider that Christine Brown did not act for greed, but for desperation, to liberate herself and her children from emotional abuse and deceit. She takes a step back, her gaze meeting Christine's for an instant. Then she nods. We rest our case. Kody's attorney stands now. Your Honor, he says with ease, this whole proceeding has been a circus founded on emotion and hyperbole. My client, Mr. Kody Brown, is not a criminal. He is a man of faith, flawed, to be sure, but not dishonest. The charges against him are based on heartbreak, not fact. He strides slowly. Mrs. Christine Brown has voluntarily left the marriage. She has publicly testified repeatedly against my client in interviews, shows, and online forums. This is not justice, Your Honor. This is defamation. Christine clutches the table. Janelle mouths, Ignore him. But Christine's hand shakes on the table. The attorney goes on, his voice hardening. And of this so-called financial concealment, there is no definitive evidence Mr. Brown meant to defraud anyone. His actions were preemptive, safeguarding communal assets from reckless emotional choices by others. He pauses, regards the judge. Your Honor, this is not a case about law. It's about vengeance. The judge slowly inclines her head, her face impassive. Thank you, counselor. Kody leans back with a superior grin, eyeing Christine as if to say checkmate. But then the judge peers down at a pile of documents, newly submitted evidence. The bailiff had brought them in that morning. Before I make any decision, the judge states, there is one more thing. She puts on her glasses. These papers were delivered anonymously last night. They seem to be diary entries and records of transactions associated with Mr. Brown's personal account. Kody's face goes white. What? That's not admissible, Your Honor. Sit down, Mr. Brown, the judge says sternly. She scans the pages, by hand dated only 3 weeks prior to the time Mrs. Brown requested separation. Quote, Move the money before she sues. Keep it secret. By Robyn. The courtroom erupts in surprise. Robyn gasps, clutching her face. Janelle releases a hard laugh. Christine seems paralyzed by shock. Your Honor! Kody's attorney protests. We cannot verify the handwriting on that notebook. The judge glares at him. Mr. Brown already attested ownership of a comparable notebook in earlier sessions, did he not? The lawyer falters. Yes, but then this court deems it pertinent. Kody gets up now, voice shaking with fury. You people don't understand. They all turned against me. I did what I had to do to protect my family. Christine finally speaks, voice firm but angry. You didn't keep us safe, Kody. You kept safe your control. There is silence. The judge wraps her pen lightly against the bench, then lays it on the bench. This court holds that, Mr. Brown's conduct, although not criminal in terms of fraud, is a gross violation of fiduciary obligation and emotional coercion. The subject funds will be divided equally between the wives. In addition, Mr. Brown is ordered to surrender all remaining joint funds and property documents within 30 days. Kody bangs his fist on the table. "You can't do this to me." The judge glares. "I just did." The gavel comes crashing down, sharp, definite. As the courtroom clears, Christine faces Robyn. There's anguish in her eyes, but understanding. "You did the right thing," she whispers. Robyn shakes her head. "I did it too late." Janelle wraps her arms around Christine tightly. "You did it, Chris. It's over." Christine glances over at Kody, who slumps in his chair with his eyes fixed on the floor. His attorney gathers her things silently, never making eye contact with him. For the first time, Kody appears completely isolated. No wives, no dominance, no empathy. Reporters cluster on the steps as Christine makes her way out. The autumn wind ruffles her hair, and for the first time in years, she smiles, weakly but genuine. Janelle and Meri trail behind. Robyn hesitates, eyes heavy with remorse, before she too goes down the steps. Kody comes after them. Flashbulbs pop furiously. "Kody!" Any statement? He scowls at them all, then speaks under his breath. "You all asked for the truth? Okay, let's see how you handle when I give you the entire truth." He clears through the throng and takes his leave. Cut to that night. Christine is sitting on her porch with the Utah sunset bathing the mountains in warm, golden light. Her phone rings, a text message from an unknown number. She hesitates, then opens it. It's a photo, a scan of a fresh legal document, and below it the words, "Defamation Lawsuit." Round 2. Her eyes go wide. Janelle comes out carrying 2 cups of tea. "You okay?" Christine breathes out, trying to smile. "Yeah, I just thought, perhaps it's not quite done yet." As the courtroom clears, Christine turns to Robyn. There's hurt in her eyes, but there's understanding too. "You did the right thing," she whispers. Robyn shakes her head. "I did it too late." Janelle embraces Christine firmly. "You did it, Chris. It's over." Christine glances at Kody, who slumps in his chair, his eyes on the floor. His lawyer gathers his belongings quietly, not meeting his eye. For the first time, Kody appears completely isolated. No wives, no dominance, no compassion. Reporters throng the sidewalk as Christine steps out onto the courthouse steps. An autumn gust ruffles her hair, and for the first time in years, she smiles, slightly but genuine. Janelle and Meri trail behind. Robyn hangs back, regret in her eyes, before reluctantly making her way down the stairs, too. Behind them, Kody steps out. Cameras go wild. "Kody!" Any statement? He scowls at them all, then grumbles under his breath. "You all wanted the truth." "Okay. Let's see what happens when I tell you the entire truth." He pushes his way through the people and exits. Cut to that night. Christine sits on her front porch, the Utah sun setting and casting warm light over the mountains. Her phone rings, a text message from a number she doesn't know. She hesitates, then answers it. It's a photo, a scan of a new legal document, and beneath it the words, "Defamation Lawsuit." Round 2. Her eyes widen. Janelle exits, carrying 2 cups of tea. "You okay?" Christine breathes out, forcing a smile. "Yeah, I just thought, maybe it's not over yet." As the camera cuts away, the screen lingers on the courthouse under the darkness, its lights still aglow as though waiting for one final chapter. And then a voice of a narrator interrupts the silence. "What do you think, viewers? Did Kody deserve that ending, or was justice too lenient on him? Let us know in the comments below, because this tale is far from over.